Here in our second match, yes, I'd like to be on the play. This hand is perfectly serviceable. Let's go ahead and keep. Let's just have a turn 2 Still Overseer. Unfortunately, no. If we draw a land, turn 2 Cranial Equip, which is never bad. So this is a pretty good start for us. We have 2 power cards left in our hand. If I draw the land, I think I better go ahead and play the Cranial. Okay, Celestial Colonnade. So yeah, definitely would prefer to play the Cranial. And that is what is going to happen. As this will give me a threat for the whole game, which may not last very long depending on what my opponent has. So playing against some sort of blue-white X control deck. Not a great matchup, but a beatable one, especially when my opponent is going kind of slowly. So it might be getting pathed here. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, the clock is not affected if I play additional artifacts, so I will go ahead and just swing 7 and see if my opponent has a follow-up. Yep, path is fine. Let's go ahead and grab our mountain. Play Steel Overseer. Play Vault Scourge, and ship the turn. So now my opponent has to act fairly quickly. Cannot board sweep us on 3 mana, fortunately. Can't do a lot for 3 mana in the control deck. Yep, he just has to pack it in. Let's go to the sideboard. So let's take out the Masters, put in our Etched, bring in our Thought Seizes, take out some Galvanic Blasts. And that should be good. Galvanic Blast is good, but I think I'd rather take things out of my opponent's hand in this matchup. Spellskite staying in. So my opponent is in white, which means I do have to worry about Stony Silence. Hopefully we'll get a hand that beats that in case my opponent has it. I like it. This is a turn 1 Thoughtseize. So let's go Dark Steel, Box Opal, Springleaf Drum, Thoughtseize. Let's see, Resto, Path, Snap, Snare, Strand, Minimo. So probably the worst thing here is the Spell Snare. My opponent is still a couple turns away from Snap, Spell Snare. Could take the Snapcaster, but no, I'm gonna take the Spell Snare and then just ship the turn. Because I want this Steel Overseer to at least resolve. So we took the Snare, my opponent played the Strand. So Resto, Path, Snap, Minomo, unknown card. Box Opal, not a great draw. Let's play our land. Play our Steel Overseer. So we're actually in a bit of a bind here, in that we don't really have a threat that's going to stick around. So I'm sure my opponent's going to path this right now. Get ready. Yeah, I was expecting that. So we might be in it for the long haul this game, but fortunately we can beat a Stony Silence now. Maybe I should have taken the Resto. Yeah, so my opponent just draws more lands and soon we'll have a beat stick. Etched Champion is pretty good. What does my opponent have? Resto, snap, Monomo, unknown card. Just gonna have to go ahead and play this. Sweet, he resolved. So let's go ahead and try and get in for a poison here. Because my opponent doesn't really have a lot going on, and he could snap path this, but I would be a-okay with that. My opponent is fetching for a basic island, presumably to, yeah, snap path. I'm okay with that. I'd rather him snap path here than snap snare me later. Although I guess he can still do that with the Restoration Angel, but not as well. So let's, yeah, sure, let's fail to find. Just use a shuffle effect. So there's the Monomo. So now my opponent has the Restoration Angel. Yeah. Resto and Snap. That's just Resto. That's the only card we know about my opponent's hand. So presuming in a turn he will... Okay, well that's perfect. Let's go ahead and slam this Cranial. Quit. And attack my opponent for 8. Seems good. So Cranial was a great draw there. My opponent's going to have to try and beat that somehow. But he's swinging for far less damage a turn than I am, and I am the one beating down. I'm the one ahead on the race. So there goes the Resto. That's everything we know about. Detention Sphere targeting the Cranial is unfortunate. Now I don't know if I can win the race. Gonna have to top deck into something else good. What would I like to see here? Another Cranial would be great. Instead we get a Blink Moth Nexus. That's not awful. Since I can buy myself a bit of time there, I am going to go ahead and attack for 2. So the question, I suppose, is do I block the Restoration Angel or the Snapcaster? Leaning towards the Snapcaster just to remove a threat off the table. Yeah, because my opponent will swing for 5. I'll block. He'll deal 3. I'll go to 10. Then he has 4 more turns, and I have 4 more turns to kill him, and I'm the one racing. Well, I'm the one going a little faster. I'll take my chances. He might have another Restoration Angel in hand here or a path and just blow me out, but I will take my chances. I think getting rid of the Snapcaster, or even getting rid of another card in his hand, is not bad. Yep, got rid of the Snapcaster. I think I can win this race now. Ornithopter means I may even still, because I can block the Restoration Angel. Gum up the works. Opponent drops to 6. I'll deploy this Ornithopter as a blocker and ship the turn. Yeah, my opponent will have to spend a spell on this Ornithopter if he doesn't want it to block. Ooh, a Tech Edge. Do not have 4 lands. Yep, stick with the plan. Gonna block here. Arcbound, my old friend. Now let's be smart about this. So this resolves, yeah, I can just win. Alright, there's our pack. I'll see you guys in the 3rd match.